So the next exercise we're going to look at is that single leg RDL hip hinge. Now what I like about doing it here on the Pep Fast balance discs is that I'm really utilizing and integrating and strengthening the feet, which works that chain all the way up. And I actually going to feel a little bit more stretch into that hamstring because I'm really loading up the full musculature of the leg. Now, I'm going to get my foot onto the pad, and this is a great tutorial in learning how to move those hips back if you get into the next exercise, which is our hip hinge sprinter knee drive. So you get that hinge, you get that squat, and you get that knee drive. So you need to learn that hinge motion, and this is great for sports because everything is powered through your hips in that glute area. And when you start to drive and push that full extension to your foot, you're going to get that hip hinge pattern as well. So we want to make sure that we utilize it here on the balance discs. So I get onto my discs, and what I'm looking for is just to sit those hips back, and I'm going to have just a little bit of tension and a little bit of movement here in my sticks. My hips come back, I lean over, I feel that big, huge stretch through my hamstring, and then I can drive back up. Now this is a movement that takes a tremendous amount of control, and I'm also feeling a lot of work in my calf muscle and my Achilles because you get a nice stretch through here because you're on the ball of that foot, and that's going to allow that pliability and that reflex, so when you jump, you're going to start to get that spring and that isolation through that ankle and calf region. So I'm loading up the tissue, really keeping my body square. We're thinking ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, square, hip hinge, feeling that stretch in that hamstring. And I like it because you get the stretch and you start to get some of that mobility in that movement. After I start to get that hip hinge pattern and I get that done properly, then I can start going a little bit faster in that range. You can see that my back leg, like any RDL, is going to be reaching back behind me. And you want to relatively keep that back foot straight. So we're thinking about that foot staying straight. It's going to turn out a little bit, and that's just because of maybe the instability in the front of your foot with the pad. So you do want to make sure that you understand how to do a hip hinge properly on the ground first, and you're sitting your hips back and you're driving full extension back in this leg to help this leg get that stretch. So you're not fully turning and opening up and just using all the hips in the groin area. So once I get that movement down, I keep that back foot straight, I lean over, get full extension of that back leg, full extension, and stretch, and I pull back through. And sometimes, as you can see on the last rep, I will hold it just to really maximize that stretch. Give this a shot. I love this exercise because I'm not only strengthening my hamstring, I'm also stretching my hamstring. So I'm learning how to get that stretch so that I can get that quick elasticity and burst through that hamstring region, but also I'm starting to work the strength and the pliability of that calf and that Achilles throughout the entire foot. So it's a great complex and great exercise if you're trying to take your game and that explosive abilities to get that pliability and strength through my foot. I'll see you guys next time.